Hello, beautiful people. This is Aurora, and I am back with probably the last video regarding my 7-day fast. Uh, really, Sweepy? She kind of threw me off. Let me show you. Yep. All right. Anyway, okay. So I am back with what should be the last video regarding my 7-day fast. I have a couple cards in my hand, so I can try to keep on track without it like being scripted, but me staying on track and not going on a tangent. So I wanted to talk about the refeed. I am 7 days after my 7 day fast, which I think the refeed is important because I follow a lot of fasting influencers, and I see other people like attempting fasts and everything, and then they'll talk about how much weight that they gained, which you're going to gain weight back and everything when you fast, because when you start drinking water and eat a certain amount of volume of food is obviously going to weigh on your body. But there was a comment that kind of struck me because they had, I'll speak about it later. But I want to go over my weight first. So even though my fast wasn't just about like losing weight or anything, it was more about me focusing mentally and finally finishing a challenge and everything. I know a lot of people always ask, ask people how much weight did they lose, how much weight did they gain back, and all of the things. So I wrote down the weight as I was losing it and gaining it. So the top part is, oh, come on, don't do it. Okay, the top part is the weight that I lost, and I'll probably take a picture of it. But the top part is the weight that I lost during the fast, and then the bottom part is the weight that I gained during the refeed. All right. Anyway, I'll probably take a picture of it because it'll probably be easier for me to just show you in a screenshot or something and point to it. But overall, during the fast, I lost like 14.2 pounds. I went from 158.8 to 144.6. And during the refeed, which again, this is day 7 of my refeed, I went from 147. Yes, because 144.6 was the last day of the fast, which was the same day that I broke the fast. So the next day after that was 147 after the first refeed at like 3 or 4 p.m. So the morning after that was 147, and then I had went as high as 154.4, and as of this morning I was 152.6. So for those who care about the weight, and I'll speak on the weight again later, um, regarding people gaining a bunch of weight after a refeed, especially after a refeed for like 7 days, like I did. Um, but I'll go over the food that I ate. So during the refeed, the first day I just had chicken broth and I dropped the egg in it and watermelon, which is what you see in the video. Excuse me, in the fasting video days 3 through 7. The next day, I had chicken broth again. I added an avocado and I had more watermelon and I had a banana and some grapes. Now, when I had the banana and some grapes, I had gotten really, 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 really sleepy. And I've never had this happen before. I've gotten the itis before, and I'm sure people know what the itis is, but I've never gotten that sleepy after eating a banana or something. But I had a friend I was talking to, I was telling them about this, and they were saying like that's happened to them before. And I was like, oh, like I wonder what that means. Because at first I was like, does this mean that I might be diabetic? But apparently this is just a thing that happens sometimes. So I just don't remember it ever happening to me besides getting the itis from like eating a bunch of food and just it just being like overfilling your stomach. And that's not what I had done on day 2 because I was kind of very methodical in the first 3 days of my refeed. I took some pictures and some videos of the things that I ate for day 1 and then 2 and then 3, I believe. I think on day 3 there was like probably one thing I didn't take a picture of probably. But day 3, I believe I finished off the watermelon. Um I had soup from like the progressive soup can, and I had um I forget what this is considered. It's like a non-booze club. So like people who aren't drinking or whatever, you go there and you get like mocktails and other drink like kava drinks and stuff there. And I tried those drinks, which I feel like were kind of sugary. And basically after that, after I came from there, I felt like I needed to have something else in my stomach. So I went to Publix and I got not a well, it was a chicken wrap, but it was the deli meat chicken, not like fried chicken wrap. But then I also got Publix's hot and spicy naked chicken, and that was a bad idea. My stomach definitely felt that. After day 3, like from then on, my stomach still was like getting used to introducing foods back into it. And so I wanted it to be kind of methodical the first 2 or 3 days and then see how I felt as I was introducing food back into my stomach. I didn't want to just jump straight into eating regular food because I didn't think that would be a good idea. I've done fasts from like 24 to 72 hours, no issues. And I normally just eat the same foods, but I'm not able to eat the same amount, right? So I can tell. So back in the day, like I couldn't really tell when I was full. I'll eat quickly and like I would be able to eat like multiple different plates. But fasting, I can tell faster that I'm full and I need to stop eating. So I'm very surprised when I follow other fasters and they can eat. Like if anybody follows Jerome from Finally Fasting, like he can put down 6,500 calories, and I was like, I don't know how you're able to do that because I could not, I can't. So what did I learn during my fast? During my fast, I learned that one, I guess if I'm not going to work, I am way more productive at home. But when I come back from work, I just feel drained, and that's the reason why I end up sitting on the couch a lot. But also, like when I started doing some of the things, the chores or errands that I needed to be doing, and I was just holding off and dreading doing them. When I started doing it, I was like, oh, it's not really that bad. Which I don't know why my brain was just like, oh, I don't want to do this. Like it's so. I felt like my brain was telling me it was just so much work and I don't feel like touching this and blah blah blah. But once I started doing it, it wasn't as big of a deal. And so I was thinking of ways to make sure that I continued doing the same thing um, when I was done with the fast because I definitely was way more productive of getting things done that I had been putting off for a while. And there's still certain things I need to get done because as I started going further into my fast, I started feeling a little bit more like drained a little bit. But I was very active during my fast. So that's probably why I was active during my refeed. So that's probably why I didn't really gain that much weight back. So out of the 14 pounds that I lost, I only gained like 8 of it back, really. Or initially, it was like 10, and then it went back down 2 pounds. So I don't know. I feel like I did pretty good at making sure I planned it out correctly, and I think that's super important. Now, there was something I was going to bring up about one of the fasters that I follow, which is um, every Sunday around like 8 or 8:30. Jerome from Finally Fasting, he'll do a live, and in one of those lives, one of his commenters had also finished a 7-day fast, and they mentioned that they had like lost 20 plus pounds, like 22, 24 pounds, but during their refeed, which they were talking about the day they broke their fast and then the day after, they had already gained 20 of those pounds back, which is crazy because during my refeed, I had only gained like 4 or 5 pounds back on the second day of refeeding. So everybody's different when they do their fast, but I was wondering, like, I wonder what they ate and how they went about it because I couldn't eat too much. Like when I had that Publix chicken, my stomach was like bubbling. Oh yeah, I did forget to mention that I did have kimchi um, during the first few days of my refeed because I wanted to get that bacteria back into my stomach that was supposed to be the good bacteria. I did forget to mention that. But yeah, I think that's important, especially for a 7 day fast. Like 1 through 3 days, especially if you've done 24 to 72 hour fast or even 96 hour fast multiple times, it's probably not going to hurt you to just go back to the food that you were eating. Though I would say if you're taking the time to do fast, to probably take the time to eat healthy along with it, with some indulgence, not just go straight back to whatever caused you to gain so much weight in the first place. If you're doing fasting for weight loss. But if you're doing like a 7 day, 10 day, 14 day, and more fast when you refeed, it should be a little bit more methodical. Again, I don't know what that person ate to have them gain back so much more weight so quickly, but I was active. I was still being active during the fast and during the refeed. And I was a little bit like, I just could not put that much in my stomach. I also had brought fruit and stuff and soups and things like that and was more focused on rehydrating and gauging when I noticed that I was full or satisfied, or when I noticed that I could feel the food in my stomach, and then how did that food make me feel, things like that. So I guess it really depends on why you're doing your fast and where your mental state is when you decide to do a fast, and that might determine how things end up after your fast, because I'm sure there's plenty of people who've done like way longer fast than me and they still end up gaining the weight back if they didn't take the time to deal with any mental things that they need to deal with in order to be in the right mind frame to stay in that healthy mental state. Oh, I need to water my plants. Anyway, it's droopy. Um, yeah, I thought that was important to bring up. So yeah, that was my refeed. This is 7 days after my 7 day fast. And again, I am proud of me finally completing a 7 day fast. Originally, it was supposed to be like 5 days, but the fact that I went 7 days was great. I was definitely ready to break it when it was time. I probably won't be doing any 7 day fasts anymore this year. Might do another one like next year, but I will definitely be doing 24, 48, 72 hour fast because I like doing those and they don't really bother me as much. Um, but yeah, that was my thoughts on my 7 day fast and how everything went and things that I learned during it. I feel like I'm trying to think if there's anything else I'm missing right now. I still need to work on some things. Obviously, everything's not going to be fixed in 7 days, but it was a good start. And I'm glad that I used those days, those vacation days, to do, to go through these steps. Like I'm glad that that's what I decided to do with my time off because I think it was very important and it's a good step in the right direction. So hopefully this was helpful. I feel like I missed some things that I wanted to talk about. I had cards with me, but I don't think I ended up writing down everything that I wanted to talk about that I probably brought up when I was not in front of the camera. But I don't know. If you have any questions, just ask me in the comments and then I'll try my best to make sure I come back in and respond. All right. Thanks for listening. Bye.